What is up, guys? Welcome back to another Major Ben Gaming video. Hope you guys are having an awesome day as always. If you could like this video and subscribe if you haven't already, I would really appreciate it. We're trying to grow the channel and do better every single time. But without further ado, I want to just get into this video because this is a really funny one and a really interesting one and something that I think is very bad practice from a developer as big as this. So if you could also just go in the description and follow any of my socials, I'd really appreciate that as well. We do stream on Twitch and Kick as often as I possibly can, so please do come check those out. Lots more content for you guys to get involved in if you want. So Bethesda is responding to negative reviews of Starfield on Steam. Now, I actually brought up Steam in one of my other videos. I got criticized for it because they are saying that, well, that's not where most people are playing the game because it's on Game Pass. You know, those reviews are essentially not right. And it's like, well, that's a very stupid way to look at it because, to be honest, those reviews are the ones who people actually paid for the game, right? Those are the people that actually paid. So they're more likely to give something honest compared to the people who got it in their monthly subscription. But anyway, there's a few comments we want to read through. Now, this is really bad practice because you're essentially just telling the person who's reviewed the game that their feelings, which are their honest feelings of what they've experienced from the game, are just wrong. And they also say the same, very similar stuff. So one of these reviews, this is the review here that sparked these comments, the first one. So, boring and overrated. There is a wide universe to explore, filled mostly with empty planets. I understand they have to do that to sell you on the idea that this is a whole universe, but that doesn't make the game more fun. Fully agree. You can land on any planet and explore the copy/pasted locations. He's going in here. You will see the exact same locations from one end of the universe to the other and everywhere in between. A hodgepodge of messy, slapped together mechanics, bloated skill trees, exploring, crafting, base building, an RPG, an FPS, a space opera. Starfield doesn't know what it wants to be. As wide as the ocean and as deep as a puddle, you can explore everywhere, but why would you want to? And this sparked off a response from someone called Bethesda Kraken, which is a developer, who signed off their post as coming from Bethesda customer support. Greetings. Thank you for taking the time to leave a review for Starfield. We are sorry that you do not like landing on different planets and are finding many of them empty. Now, the guy didn't say that anyway. He didn't say he doesn't like landing on planets. But anyway, some of the Starfield's planets are meant to be empty by design. But that's not boring. This is the quote they keep bringing up. When the astronauts went to the moon, there was nothing there. They certainly weren't bored. Now, this little thing here just to me is just completely stupid. First of all, the astronauts going to the moon is something that they did in real life. Like, you can't compare a video game on a TV to a real life experience. Like, it's just not the same. It's just not. And also, not to mention the fact that they did it once and came back. We are doing it over and over again on planets that are very similar apart from various different terrains, but overall it's very, very similar. You know, you just can't compare this with a real life situation. It just doesn't make any sense. And saying they certainly weren't bored, well, as I said again, it's a real life experience. We're doing this over and over in a video game multiple times within half an hour. Literally, you'll do this countless times because you need to travel around. It's all fast travel. It's all quick landing. And it's just stupid. And not to mention, this is a video game. Like, it's supposed to be fun. Like, if people are telling you they're bored of doing the same thing over and over again, and there's not enough to do in your worlds, then your game isn't good enough. Like, it's kind of as simple as that. Like, if they're telling you these things, take them on board, listen to the criticism, and then, you know, don't respond in a stupid way. Anyway, going on. The intention of Starfield's exploration is to evoke a feeling of smallness in the player and make you feel overwhelmed. You can continue to explore and find worlds that do have resources you need or hidden outposts to look through. So basically keep doing the same thing, bashing your head against the wall. If this player's already not enjoying it, why would he want to keep doing the exact same thing? Then they do a feedback form and they say never stop exploring. Anyway, but we'll go on to the next review down here. So this is someone else's review. The story is as generic as it gets and the gameplay gets boring. I wish there was a reason to even bother exploring planets and building outposts. Everything is fun until you do it once. Then it's all repeating, soulless chore. Now, this I do very much agree with. There's so much in this game that is repetitive, including literally, as he says, the outposts are just copied and pasted so many times throughout the game. This was their response. Greetings. Thank you for taking the time to leave a review for Starfield. You can fly, you can shoot, you can mine, you can loot. Kind of just ignoring what the guy's saying, but anyway, Starfield is an RPG with hundreds of hours of quests to complete and characters to meet. Most quests will also vary on your character's skill and decisions, massively changing the outcome of your playthrough. Try creating different characters with backgrounds and characteristics that clash or are opposite of your previous character. So play the game more, choose a different character, replay the whole game again. He's already bored of the same stuff. You will feel like you are playing a totally different game. Put points into different skills from a character you've previously created, and now you're faced with completely different decisions to make and difficulties to encounter. You're really not. Like, just because you put skill points into something different, the game is not completely different. It's the same game, you just have a few different skill sets. You could literally infinitely say that about every game. Cyberpunk, replay the game, putting this point into this skill tree over there, and then do the same. Play it again, put it over there. There's like hundreds of different skill points you get in Cyberpunk for different things. What, you're saying every time you play every game, like The Witcher, skill points you put into different things, and you're playing the game entirely differently? No, the story doesn't change. It's the same thing. Man, these responses just seem so stupid to me. There are so many layers to Starfield that you will find things you've never knew were possible after playing for hundreds of hours. Even after completing the main story, go back and play it again. Your adventure doesn't end. You can continue on to New Game Plus to keep exploring Starfield and all that is out there. So just play more of the game, dude. Okay, so greetings. What was this one, actually? Here's another example. It's time... Okay. There's another response. Thank you for taking the time to leave a review of Starfield. We're sorry you did not like landing on different planets. Where is this? Yeah, she put the thing. Anyway, we're sorry you didn't like landing on different planets and are finding many of them empty. They just are. Like, that's not... Yeah. You need to apologize. Like, it's just bad. Like, it's just... Fix it. Some of Starfield's planets are meant to be empty by design, but that's not boring. If he's telling you it's boring, then... his feeling is boredom. Like, it is just he's bored of doing the same thing. And you've even admitted that, they're meant to be empty by design. Like, what are you expecting people to do? They're going to be bored if they keep going to planets that don't have anything to do on them. When the astronauts went to the moon, there was nothing there. They certainly weren't bored. Again, comparing it to a real life situation with real life astronauts going to the moon for the first time is so stupid. And it just baffles me that this is something they've been allowed to go on Steam and say, if they have, because this just seems ridiculous. Invalidating what the customer's truly feeling about a game and quoting something based on real life. Yours is a game. It is not real life. It's a video game. You have to adapt things. This isn't a simulator. This is not... Your games, Bethesda, including this one, are never based on simulation. If you're going for realism, make a space simulator game. This was not a space simulator game. You think all the stuff you were doing in this game is true to life? Could I really get shot tons of times through the suit and just keep taking damage and not die? Is that real? Because all the other aspects of your game are not simulator-like, but you're making it sound like you're comparing it to real life, meaning you're making a sim-type game. So you need to kind of going back to what that other guy said, you're doing a bit of everything, but you're now claiming you're comparing it to real-life space exhibitions. Like, it's so stupid. The intention of Starfield's exploration is to evoke a feeling of smallness in the player. Same thing again. You can continue to explore and find worlds that do have resources you need, or what it's the same thing. Starfield is an RPG with hundreds of hours of quests. They're saying the same stuff. Most quests will also vary on your character's skills and decisions, massively changing the outcome. Try creating different characters, play again, play the whole game again, basically. But, there's loads of these examples. People are complaining about loading screens as well. So here we go, complaining about loading screens. Thank you for taking the time, whatever, disappointed with loading screens. While there may be loading screens in between fast traveling, just consider the amount of data for the expansive gameplay that is procedurally generated to load flawlessly in under 3 seconds. Now, Definitely not 3 seconds. Even on my PC with a 4090 and a 12900K, 64 gigs of RAM, it wasn't 3 seconds. And this guy could be playing on the Series X or S. So that's a stupid comment to make. And not to mention, you're kind of just admitting your own game isn't very well designed. Like, you're saying because of the expansive world that's procedurally generated, basically you've got to expect things to not work as we promised you, kind of thing. Not as we promised, but Xbox certainly promised, 0 load times in a lot of games. But yeah, I don't know what to say here. And they're asking for feedback, which is good. I mean, they've kind of given you their feedback, but you've just told them that they're wrong and saying that, just consider the amount of data for the expansive gameplay, irrelevant. Like, if it's still so many loading screens, which there are in this game, you have hundreds of load screens constantly just going in and out of your ship. Loading screen. Docking a ship, you get a loading screen. Going into the ship after you've actually docked to it, loading screen. Like, there's constantly loading screens in this game. They're telling you this, and your answer is just to basically say, no, you're not intelligent enough to realize why there's a loading screen here, is kind of what they're saying. So there's plenty of these reviews, but I don't want to go on and on for ages. I just think this is bad practice from Bethesda. I don't think it's good to just kind of completely say that all the customers are just wrong in how they're feeling and their opinions on the game. They're also telling you what they're feeling, and then you're kind of asking for feedback. They're giving you feedback. That's the point of a review in the first place. Actually listen to what they're saying rather than just put this kind of copy and pasted response and then a couple of parts of their review in there where they, you cherry pick certain things like the loading screens. I don't know. It just doesn't seem very good to me what they're doing here, and I don't think it's good practice. And the much better way and approach of doing things is a bit like what CD Projekt Red did. They had a disaster of a game, and I'm not saying Starfield was anywhere near as bad as what Cyberpunk was at launch, but they went away and fixed it. And that was the criticism. They took on board and they fixed things. They added things to the game. The DLC is phenomenal. One of the best DLCs I think I've played for any game ever. And they've done that off the back of a game that was very bad. Way worse than what Starfield is. Starfield actually doesn't have the same level of bugs that Cyberpunk has. It has bugs, but not quite the same game-breaking scale. I feel like I didn't experience that many. But personally, from my point of view, Bethesda has just gone downhill. Like, if you look at their previous releases, they're the worst reviewed ones in years. From all the old ones we used to get to the new ones, these are way worse. And I think what they need to do, what they should have done for this game, would be focus on less planets. Nobody cares about 1,000 planets. Nobody cares. I would have much rather you had 10 Skyrim-sized planets that you could fully explore. And I'm not saying Skyrim, for God's sake, because people take things literally, but Skyrim size, like that map, like a planet kind of like that sort of size, but you can actually fully explore without loading screens going round, and then you could travel between the planets. Like that would have been much better. And 10 fully focused ones. A bit like you did with Neon. Neon is one of the best places you can spend your time in Starfield. That's where Bethesda are good. That's where they shine, is on planets like Neon. You should have just done more of those things with less 1,000 planets, because all you really did there is just go, throw it at a procedurally generated thing. As you say, there's nothing on some of the planets, and you've just claimed 1,000 planets. And it's like, well, you didn't do anything for it. There's nothing on this planet. It's just an empty rock to walk around, which I get is, what real planets are like. But also, you're comparing this to real life, which is like, we don't have that many planets with people just wandering around on. So by logic, you're also not very accurate because there's not that many planets out there where people are just wandering around. I don't know. I just think it's stupid to compare it to real life. So anyway, I'm out. Thank you for watching this video. Please leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you in future ones. Bye-bye for now.